Hi everyone, thank you for stopping by and joining my channel. Thank you to all my subscribers and followers and those who even just view my videos. I appreciate you so much. Thank you to all the comments I've gotten in the past. I do appreciate them, and I do take many into advisement. So thank you so much. I want to show you some ideas that I created for Valentine's Day this year, as this may be my husband's last year to celebrate. He's progressing worse in his dementia, and I want us to have a great year of holidays this year. So I'm starting off with design number one. I'm going to be making some wax melts, heart wax melts. I want him to know how special he is to me, and we're going to be making some very special DIYs. Very easy, quick, and cheap DIYs. Very elegant as well. So I'm using coconut wax, but of course you can buy the wax from the Dollar Tree, and use that. Just buy a candle, melt it down, and then put your own. Now make sure the candles are odorless that you buy. Put your own fragrance in. You know, your own. Use your own fragrance or essential oils. So I'm using a Bohemian rose because it's Valentine's Day. I'm not going to be buying roses. It's too expensive. And so I want the house to smell of roses though. So I'm using this Bohemian rose, which is amazing. It smells just like roses. You would think that the house would be decorated in nothing but roses, but it's a wonderful aroma. So I'm adding that to 16 ounces, 1 ounce of the Bohemian Rose to 16 ounces of coconut wax. And I'm going to be going ahead and pouring those in. Now, I did add some red mica powder, as you can see. I added red mica powder to that. So I'm going to pour about 1 ounce. Now, you can use less, but I'm pouring about 1 ounce of wax, candle wax, into each of these silicone love or heart shaped molds. Again, 1 ounce, about 1 ounce. Now I'm going to end up adding a little bit more because I'm going to make them a little thicker because I'm going to cut them in half. So I added about another ounce to each of the wax melts. Now I'm also going to be making the candles. As you can see, I did the Bohemian Rose and candles because I'm going to be doing candles. But these are the wax melts, and this is what they turned out looking like. And this is how I package them if I was to package them to send out. But these are for us. I also made the holder using a mold, a silicone mold. So that jar I made that as well using epoxy resin. So these are my little wax melts that we'll be using on Valentine's Day. Now for design number two, I'm going to be doing candle holders. Now these are going to be heart-shaped candle holders. Now I'm using epoxy resin. I'm doing 1-to-1 ratio epoxy resin. So it's a total of 8 ounces I'm going to be using because I'm going to make 3 of the candle holders. So I stir slowly. Now you should be using gloves. I didn't because I've been pretty careful in the past. But anyway, I add some red mica powder because I want these to be red. And I'm going to go ahead and pour about 3/4 of the way full. And then I'm going to add my little tea light holders in there. And then go ahead and finish filling alongside that. Now, after 12 hours, here's what they look like. And I'm going to be putting pillow candles, and you can add wax and make tea lights holders, but I'm going to put pillow candles in for our special day, and I will show you the final results, how the day progressed as we celebrate Valentine's Day, what everything looks like as I set my table, or after I set my table, excuse me. So this is what they look like. They're very nice, very cute, elegant. And for design 3, I'm going to make another candle holder. This is going to be a little bit different, of course. Now, I've already made my candle and I've let it cure, but it's going to need several more days to cure. So I'm going to go ahead and make it up, clean out my glass. I use alcohol, just rubbing alcohol. And you can just spray a little bit of alcohol on top, let it sit for a minute, and it'll come right off. But I'm just going to go ahead and scrape it off. Now I'm going to go ahead and pour my epoxy resin because that's going to be part of this DIY. I'm doing 1-to-1 again ratio. 4 ounces, a total of 8 ounces is what you'll need for this particular DIY. So I like to pour my part B first and then pour my part A and then let my epoxy resin sit for 15 minutes more, and that will eliminate the bubbles. You don't have to worry about bubbles if you let it sit for a while. Normally between 15 and 30 minutes is as long as I'll let it sit. And then I'll stir, and I don't worry about bubbles. But don't let it sit too long because it will start to cure. And so I stir slowly. And as you can see, if you're getting close up, there are no bubbles because I've let it sit for a little bit. Now I stir my epoxy resin for at least 4 to 5 minutes. I want to make sure I incorporate that well, both parts A and B. Now after stirring for approximately 5 minutes, I go ahead and pour slowly into the vase, or some people call it vase. Now the vase is from the Dollar Tree. The bud vase is also from the Dollar Tree. So both vases or vases are from the Dollar Tree. I like to make sure I get every dripping bit out. So I make sure I waste not, want not. And then I go ahead and add my bud vase with my candle in it and make sure that's centered. And then these Dollar Tree glass stones, they're from the Dollar Tree. 2 bags is all you need. I go ahead and add those until I fill them up. The epoxy resin halfway up to the jar, and as you can see, this is the final results. This is after the resin has cured. Very elegant. I love this. And they do light well, and they have no effect to your epoxy resin when you light them. And this is what I use. I use the potpourri to make this one. Now for my next design, this is design number 4. I just wanted to do a card for my husband. Just a simple rustic card. So I'm just using some heavy paper. I wouldn't suggest a lightweight paper. I suggest some heavyweight paper. And this is just rustic paper. And this heart I got free, but you can find these at the Dollar Tree. And I'm using my soldering gun to kind of score it, I guess, so that it'll be easy to cut when I use my scissors to cut it. I don't have to worry about cutting outside of the line. And after cutting it, I go ahead and score it down the middle so it'll be easy to fold. And then I go ahead and fold it. Now this is not a scoring tool. This is actually a tool that you use like on vehicles and things like that. But I'm using this as a scoring tool because it makes a perfect scoring tool. Now that I have that folded, I want to decorate it. And again, this is going to be simple because it's for my husband, so I want it to look kind of manly, I guess you want to say. So I'm going to just use some hearts. So I'm taking these hearts and I'm going to cut out some smaller hearts. Again, these came from a donation that was given to me. Someone knew that I was a crafter and all they were going to give these away. They gave them to me. And so I got all these free. But again, you can find these pieces at the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree has so much you can buy at such a low cost. Not free, but still low cost. So I'm taking these little hearts, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and paint two of them white and keep the other natural. So I'm going to go ahead and paint two white. Now you're going to need at least 2 or 3 coats to make sure you get good coverage because you want it to really look nice. You don't want it to look like the paper is seeping through. So it doesn't take very long to dry. So after 3 coats, I'm going to go ahead and take my heart stencil with the rose in the middle and carefully, evenly place that on the front of the card that I made. And then I'm going to take my white paint and I'm going to paint this, stencil this on. Use a good amount of paint to make sure I get full coverage. Not even. Now, again, I like to make sure that I get complete coverage, so I'm going to make sure fill in all those little fill in all the spaces so that this will come out. And then I go ahead and make sure I lift it up straight. So I'm going to go ahead and lift that straight up, and voila, that's how it comes out. And I'm going to go ahead and do one last coat on these because, again, I want to make sure they're pure white and there are no streaks from the paper showing through. So I did do a total of 3 coats on these. So not 4, but 3. So this is the 3rd coat actually. And then I'm going to keep the other heart natural. So it's going to be one natural heart. Now I want to go ahead and fill in because um, there are little streaks showing through the hearts here on my stencil design. So I do want to go ahead and fill those in. So I go ahead and fill those in. I use a very thin bristled brush to do that. This is very relaxing, very calming. So if you don't wish to finish watching this, or if you wish to just go ahead and skip through all this part, you can. I just wanted to go ahead and keep this in so that for those of you who like to watch. But there's not much left to the card to do after making sure that this is all filled in. Again, this is a rustic card, so I'm not going to do a lot of fancy, uh, I guess, design to this, except for the stencil. I'm going to add, of course, add the hearts to the front. But then all I'm going to do is just write on the inside of the card a little something for my husband, and I'll read that to him on Valentine's Day. For those of you who are watching who may have a loved one who's suffering from dementia, it is a very, very difficult thing to deal with, to watch your loved one um, just totally change from the person you used to know. Very difficult to see that. So here I am finished with this part, and of course I have to let that dry. So if you do have a loved one who's suffering from dementia, um, just let me know. I would definitely love to keep you in prayer, because I am constantly praying and anointing my uh, my home, and my husband as well, for him to stay as healthy as possible. But this is what it looks like when you're finished adding your little pieces to it. And of course, you can make this your own, do whatever you want with it, add all kinds of beautiful design to it. But I'm just making this again simple rustic piece, and I'm going to put my little love note inside, and I'll read that to my husband on Valentine's Day, and that's the finished card. I love the way this turned out, very rustic, and it's perfect for a man, not feminine at all. So, thank you for joining my channel. I do appreciate you stopping by. I would like to get more content out, but because I'm my husband's sole caregiver and I don't have anyone coming in, he wouldn't hear of it. And I'm definitely not comfortable with it. So I'm here pretty much 24/7, but my time is committed to him. But I do try to take some time out to do my DIYs, and eventually I'm able to put a video together. But it does take a little more time, because, again, a 24/7 job taking care of someone with dementia, especially as they progress. So thank you for stopping by. Again, I would love to hear from you all. If you have a loved one who's suffering, definitely, I would love to put you in my prayers. Um, I am part of a dementia group at church, and there's so much information that I have and can share, and I'm sure that you probably have information you can share as well. So I would love to hear from you, not only about dementia, but also about the crafting. If you have any ideas that you'd like to share with me, I would love to hear that as well. Thank you so much for stopping by. Again, to all my followers and those who view my channel and my videos, I do appreciate you more than you know. It's just very hard to acknowledge as much as I should, because, again, I'm so busy. But I do appreciate you. I do think of you often, and I do look forward to sharing when I can. So come back again. I will be doing another video. I just don't know when, but at least within the next couple of weeks or so, I'm hoping to get another video out, because, again, we will be celebrating the holidays this year more so than ever before. Thank you so much, and talk to you soon.